Alrighty guys, we're gonna wait just a little bit more to see if more people join our live. Our 8th live. That's a lot. I feel like we've been doing more lives. Right? I feel a little girl in this hair. Alright guys, so today we'll be talking about nail tips. I know some of you guys, maybe, I'm not saying you guys do, but struggle with the way you glue your tips. So we'll be talking about that, but we'll see if more people join. I'll just wait a little longer. So if you guys have trouble, like if the nails start lifting, it could also be the way you glue your tips. So if you guys have trouble with that, make sure that you guys stick around so you guys can, you know, see our little tips that we have today. Nail tips. Today we're using a real hand. That I cut off. I'm just kidding. Alright, so we'll start. I'm going to start with the introduction because last time I forgot to do the introduction that I always do. So my name is Demi. I am with Hey Beautiful. We are doing these lives every Thursday at 6 p.m. And the reason why we do these lives is to hopefully teach you guys something new, teach you guys about our products, but most importantly, getting to connect with all of you guys and just interact with every single one of you because we appreciate all the support that you guys give us. So we'll go ahead and start. So we're going to be talking about 3 mistakes that you might be doing when you apply your nail tips. We'll also talk about just, you know, my little tips and tricks to avoid lifting or just how to properly apply your tips. So let me know down below, guys, if you guys have, like, what problems you guys have when it comes to tips, to nail tips. And this can be like when you're using like the gel, or you're applying your tips for acrylic. Let us know down below. That way, if that's not in our agenda today, we can talk about that as well. So let us know, guys. So our mistake number 1. So these are mistakes that we see really often, or sometimes we'll ask questions on our stories and you guys will tell us what you guys have issues with or something like that. So these are not stuff that we come up with, but these are actually things that like people have trouble with when it comes to nail tips. So the mistake number 1 is incorrect nail tip size. The way that the size you put on your nail has to do with the lifting. If you're not putting the right size on your nail, it'll cause lifting. You know that lifting causes that humidity or water going inside your nail, which causes fungus. So it's very important how or what type of nail sizes you put on your nail. So you might maybe glue the tip a little bit bigger, or it might be too small for the nail. So I'm going to show you what is the proper size. Sometimes you will have those times where maybe size 7 would be smaller. 7 is like too small. So you go to a number 6 and it's too big. I do recommend that you go for the bigger size and just file down to fit your nail properly. Camera 2. All right, so here we have our nail. Focus. Okay. So so whenever the nail tip is wider, it can actually it has to do with the appearance as well. So if it is a wider tip, it'll make your nail look a lot bulkier and just not as aesthetically pleasing. So obviously we want the nails to look slim, especially right now, you know, the nails looking really slim and skinny is in. So obviously we don't want the the tip to be too wide. So I don't usually use white tips, but I'm using these just so you guys can see them properly. I don't want you guys to not be able to see if I used it clear. So I want you guys to see, even though you guys are not going to be able to see how much I'm gluing, but I'll turn to the side. I know a lot of you guys also ask like how much of the tip you're actually gluing onto the nail, like if you're just leaving a little space or, you know, all the way up here. So I will show you guys. So let me see. What size is this? Number 6. I'm going to show you guys a tip that's bigger. Okay. So even though this might seem like it fits, if you guys take the tip from one side of the nail and try to fit on the other, you see how it's too big. So obviously if I just do this, it looks like it fits, but it's too big on the sides of the nail. So I'm just taking it from one side. Once I flip it over to the other side, it's a little bit too big. And like I said, if you go onto the smaller size and it's too small, then I would recommend that you go for this size, even if it's a little big, but just file down the sides to make sure that it fits properly. Okay, so this one is the perfect size. I'm going from one side to the other, and it fits perfectly from sidewall to sidewall. So you always want to make sure that your tip fits from side to side. And I'm not saying the skin, I'm saying the nail. It fits from the side of the nail to the other. If your tip is too small, like this one will be able to fit, right? I'm just kind of placing it on top. This can fit if I press it down completely, but this is not the smartest thing to do, just because if you see I'm pressing it down, that way it will be able to fit, but I'm putting too much pressure on the nail tip. So over time, especially if the glue is not strong enough or just you didn't put enough, it will definitely pop up, or maybe not completely, but in some areas it'll pop up, and then that's when you'll create little pockets or the bubbles, and that's whenever your humidity or water starts to come in, which will create fungus, or which is called like the green nails. So obviously, it's obviously not like super serious where you can like ruin the client's life, but if you get that to your client, you can definitely give it to somebody else. So you always want to make sure that you're not doing this. So I'm placing it on top. You see how it's too small. I don't know if you guys can tell because it's kind of blurry, but if I put it from sidewall and try to fit it on the other side, it doesn't reach all the way. It will if I completely press it down, but if it's not properly on there, it'll just pop right back up. So obviously having that perfect size is very, very important. Okay, so mistake number 2 is incorrect amount of nail glue or incorrect glue. So it always depends on the glue that you're using and on the amount you're using. So there's so many different types of glue, so don't use something that is not meant for nails, like Gorilla Glue. I've heard this a lot where people, because it's so strong, Gorilla Glue, is super strong, they're like, we can use it because it'll make the nails last a lot longer. But that is wrong. Do not use Gorilla Glue or super glue on nails. You always want to make sure that the glue that you're using is proper nail glue. So right now I'm going to be using the Hey Beautiful glue right here. So I'm using the stick glue. We also have the brush glue. Alrighty. So I already prepped my nail. And you also want to make sure that your nail is properly prepped. So I did buff my nail. You see the other nail? Her other nails are quite, let me see, it's too bright. they're quite shiny. So this one you can tell I prepped it. You want to add your dehydrator, and you also want to add your primer. I actually prefer adding primer after I glue my tip. I know a lot of people add everything before, but I like to apply everything after I glue my tip. Just because if you glue your tip on top of it, it might just pop off, just because the primer does leave like a glossy finish, right? So if you put this on top, it might affect, I've always done it this way, but it might affect, you know, the glue that you applied on top of the primer. So I just prepped it. I haven't applied anything on the nail. And also, if you don't use gloves, even if you use gloves, you know, you touch your own skin or you touch your face sometimes with the gloves. So the gloves, you can also transfer that oil from your face, from your skin. And if you're gluing your tips, you might, you know, when you're gluing your tips, sizing them, you might touch the nail accidentally. So that's why I also like putting the dehydrator and the primer after, just in case you did touch it. Even if, like I said, you have gloves on, you can still transfer that oil. So I apply it after, just to dehydrate the nail and make sure that I remove any oil on the nail. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue it. So like I said, prepping the nail is really important. If you don't prep it, it will make your product not stick well enough. Okay. Now I'm just gonna apply a little bit of glue, not too much. This is a really strong glue, so a little bit of this goes a long way, but you want to make sure that you get the whole entire edge of the nail. Oh, sorry. You want to make sure, I don't even think you can see it, me applying the glue, but you want to get the whole entire edge of the tip. Make sure that the whole entire thing is glued. Another tip that I have is to make sure you don't have any air bubbles. You want to hold the tip straight like this, and then kind of run it down and then push it upwards. This will help you push all those air bubbles to the top or push them out. That way you don't have any air bubbles in there. If you have any air bubbles in your tip, like I said, any water, because you have air bubbles, it's gonna start going in there, start lifting the nail, and sometimes the nail will not lift completely, just the very edge. So it'll start lifting, and you'll start getting that humidity and water, which causes fungus. So lifting does not only happen from like around the cuticle, but it also happens from the tip. So you also want to make sure that you avoid that.
And I have a picture of a fungus. Should I show?
Oh yeah. I don't know if you guys ever seen like.
Look, there it is.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys ever seen like what fungus looks like, guys, but it is not pretty. It is also something that you can definitely. It is definitely something that does not look good.
I'm gonna show it again.
Yeah, show it again. Let's scare everybody. It's not something you want to give to somebody, and it is also very contagious. So either you can give it to yourself if you're working on a client with fungus, or you can give it to another client. Oh, I see it now. It's kind of slow over here, but this is like, that picture has a little bit. Is it on the camera one? Oh, yeah. That picture that we showed, guys, only has a little bit of the green. I think some people call it the greenies. I've heard that they call it the greenies, but it's just nail fungus. That is literally just a little bit, but trust me, there are really bad cases of nail fungus. Just letting you guys know.
Yeah, someone said I had one of them before, and my finger gutted till it went away.
Wait, what? The finger gutted? What is that?
I don't know, but she said it hurt. It hurt really bad.
Like her nail lifted
Like
off?
hurted? Oh, her finger was hurting until the fungus went away.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, yes. I've never had fungus, because I am really careful about that. Like, I sanitize all of my things, especially if they're metal or things that you can throw away. Or I just personally don't work on clients that have fungus. But I'm really careful with that. I've never had it, so I don't know what it feels like, but I'm pretty sure that you never had it.
It didn't hurt.
But you didn't. I don't think it was fungus. I think you just
yellow.
you just lifted your nail. You had like an air pocket in your
And
nail.
it was water going in.
Yeah, it was just like
longer.
you lifted it and you had like an air pocket.
Yeah.
But it was not fungus. So I don't know. Personally, I don't know if it hurt, but I'm pretty sure that it did. Let me just make sure that somebody else did something. So we want to know, guys, have you ever had an experience with somebody with nail fungus? Like, what have you guys done? I know it's difficult turning the person away. Like, you're really sad, and also because, you know, it's your time, and you obviously, you're like, well, I'm wasting time and I'm wasting money. You obviously don't. It's not nice, right, when you're wasting your time and your money. But what have you guys done if you guys ever have gone through that case where your client has fungus? Maybe not necessarily that you gave it to them, but they've come like that. Have you guys turned them away, or have you guys worked on them but just thrown everything that you used? We want to know. We like chisme, guys. We like the gossip.
Oh yeah, we do.
Who doesn't like chisme? Who doesn't like gossip? Alrighty. Especially, have you ever seen those on TikTok where like people talk about like their experiences with clients? I like watching those TikToks. Let me see your hand. Have you seen those?
Which one?
I'm talking to you,
Oh, I'm sorry.
client. The TikToks where like they talk about like bad experiences that they've had with clients, like all the chisme, the gossip.
I mean, it's good.
It's good. It's definitely good. Y'all are interrupting our live.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Is it in camera too? Alright. So, I've glued the tip. We want to make sure that it's properly... Ah, it's blurry. Let me zoom out. I want you guys to be able to see it clearly. Okay, so I'm just going to file the sides and make sure... I'm not cutting it down just because I want to save some time, but I'm just going to file the sides and make sure that it's properly on there, as well as filing the top and just kind of joining or blending your natural nail with your tip. So for that, I'm going to use my drill. Whoops.
Or someone says, I have been to a shop when I saw a tech take a person that had one and she didn't clean her tools afterwards. I never went back.
Oh no. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing. I feel like it's really important. I feel like it's really important to know where you guys are going. I know there's especially, I'm not trying to throw shade at anybody, but I know that especially the places that have a lot of people, that take in a lot of people, not because they're trying to be like cruel, right, and give you guys some type of infections or whatever, but you know, they have a lot of people and sometimes they don't have time, guys. I mean, that's no exception, but that sometimes they don't have time because they have so many people, especially places where they don't work by appointments. They have so many people coming in and out. Maybe they just don't have time to clean their tools, and I mean, it can happen. If they definitely used tools on somebody that had fungus and then used it on another person, they could definitely give it to that other person, because fungus is very, what's that word?
Contagious.
Yeah, it's very contagious. It's a disease, right?
I don't know.
Like bacteria. It's bacteria. So it's definitely, what's the word again?
Huh?
Contagious. My English is no good.
Someone says, I was in LA visiting and needed my nails done. I was just shocked to see that.
Oh yeah, I would have been really shocked. I would have been like, I would have gotten up and walked away. I would have just left.
Okay.
I'm really, really picky about that stuff. So I'm just going to, on a low setting, gonna start filing over that. So some people file just the very edges, which is fine. And I'm trying to just touch the tip. I'm not trying to file your nail because sometimes I don't know why this will burn. Like you can file the whole entire nail and they're fine, but when you're working on this, it'll like burn for some reason.
It's really sweet.
So I'm trying to just touch the tip. And with the white, you can actually tell like how blended this is. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm trying not to have anything lifted because once you start applying your acrylic, I don't have a duster. Once you start applying your acrylic, if you have something lifted on there, that liquid will definitely start kind of lifting the tip because monomer does melt the tip. So if that liquid starts getting in there, especially, it shouldn't because if you do the proper like powder to liquid, like liquid to powder ratio. But you know, if sometimes you use like a wet bead, the monomer can definitely get in there and it'll just start lifting. So I don't want to get it too close because it doesn't focus properly, but let me turn your finger around, girl. I'm not trying to break it, but if you guys can see, that's like really like, I run my finger and nothing's getting stuck. It's like really, really blended. Nothing's poking out or anything. So that's what you guys want to see. I know I see a lot of people filing the whole entire nail. That's not necessary. Obviously, if you want to do that, you can do that. Sometimes I do it because if I'm gonna, I just cheat because if I'm gonna film a video, it looks cool, but it's not necessary. Okay, somebody said I live in Fresno, and the texts here are so. I don't say this online about how to clean. About how they clean. I was halfway through my set and it was too late to leave, but when I left, I soaked my hands in alcohol.
Which the ass.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely really scary. Like to see like a nail tech next to you working on somebody with fungus and not clean their tools. I would have probably said something problematic. But, you know, because it's not sanitary, definitely not sanitary. But if you guys are nail techs, or you guys are starting, obviously that's what you guys are here. You either are nail techs or you want to start. Definitely kind of invest in, for example, like barbicide. You can dilute that with water and just put all your metal tools in there. Sometimes if you use nail files, you don't necessarily touch the nail, especially if you can use like one file just to file the acrylic nail and the little files for each client on the natural nail. I use the drill. So these little drill bits that I have, the sand bits, I throw them away after each client. That's the only thing that I use that touches the nail. So if you guys are nail techs, do invest in stuff like that, like buying more of, not using like one for like several clients, and even invest in one of those UV like sanitizing, either a box. Sometimes there's like these little microwave looking things. You can use that as well, just because that type of UV light kills any bacteria that is in there. So yeah. And another thing, because I've gone through this so many times, and my bosses here are probably like, yeah. Sometimes I leave the metal tools in the barbicide mixture with water. They're a little too long and they do get rusty. And obviously you can't reuse that. You got to throw that away. So just leave it in there for 15 minutes. Trust me, barbicide is really, really strong. So don't put too much water either. It's just barbicide is really thick. So just put a little bit of water. And don't leave it in there too long because metal things do rust in water. So just letting you guys know. I've messed up so many tools. Alright guys. So after this step I would just put primer and the Ultra Bond, which is the primer. Let me bring it. Definitely not prepared. Alright, so we have the nail prep. I believe this is the new image. Is this a new?
No, that's
Okay. So I have the old like what's it called? The old look. This is the old like look or not look, it's not look, design. The old design. We do have a new design, but it's still called nail prep. So just look for the dehydrator. It is the Hey Beautiful one, and I do have the Ultra Bond as well, which is the primer. It is an acid-free primer. So I'm not gonna apply it because we're not trying to make our client leave with a prime nail that's not gonna have acrylic on it. But yes, so basically I would apply my dehydrator, then my primer. Dehydrator just to dehydrate and remove any excess oils. Primer is what is going to act as the glue for your acrylic. So yeah. You know what? I'm sorry, Miss Model, but I'm going to apply this on you. I'll just file it off. It's okay. So I'm just going to add, just to make sure it's, and you can tell that it will dehydrate because it looks kind of wet, but then it'll start drying out and you'll be able to see that, like, in my classes, I always call it, I don't know if this is like weird, but I always call it like ashy because it looks like ashy. So yeah, now I'm gonna add my primer. Usually when I'm doing nails, I obviously apply all my tips first, right? File them like how I did, all of them, and then that's when I go in with my dehydrator and primer. But since we're only doing one nail, that's why I'm only doing one. Then I'm gonna apply my primer, and usually I do that with all of them, and then I go back in again and add a second coat to it. I don't want to add too many coats because adding too much can also kind of make that like sticky adhere primer kind of go away. So we don't want that. I always do 2 and only 2 coats. No more than 2. And also, if you like applying 1, obviously it'll still work, but applying 1 is not enough. So that's why I apply 2. Alright, so that is everything. That is our tips. So I didn't even introduce the mistake number 3. I think I only stuck with 2 mistakes, but no, I did 3. The mistake number 3 was not prepping good enough, which was what I did. I filed the nail, the whole kind of blended the tip with the natural nail, and then I prepped with my dehydrator and my primer. So like I said, guys, when you apply your tips, it has a lot to do. It has very important. When it comes to nails, there's so many things that are very important that sometimes don't seem like it's really important, but obviously you have your tips, right? If they're not glued properly, you'll have lifting. We don't want that. You'll have air bubbles. That's where the water, humidity goes in, which causes, I was gonna say bacteria, which causes fungus, which we don't want that. Also, you want to prep it properly. You want to prep your tips because your tips have to be prepped, which is the filing, and obviously just the prepping for the acrylic, which is your dehydrator and your primer. So just to kind of run things through and make sure that I'm just a little recap of our mistakes. First mistake was incorrect nail tip size. Sizing is very important. like I said, too small, you're putting too much pressure in there, it's just gonna pop back up, and you don't want that. If it's too big, you have the end sticking out, which will make your nails look wider, right? We don't want white nails. That's not in right now. Right now is like the very slim, skinny nails. So it has to do with the way you look, the way it looks, so the aesthetic part of the nail. But if it's also too big, if there's points sticking out, it starts getting caught and it'll just start lifting from your sides. So you don't want that. Mistake number 2 was not using the proper glue and incorrect amount of glue. Sometimes I've seen this a lot in classes, they add a little bit, but remember that you're trying to glue the whole entire edge of the tip to the whole entire tip of your nail. So if you don't add enough, especially because, like, for example, these Hey Beautiful glues are really strong and they glue really fast. If you don't put enough, the tip will completely glue on to whatever area had glue. If you had one spot that didn't have glue, you can't pick it back up because it'll literally just glue. It won't give you time to fix it. These are really strong, really good glues. I've had tips that take forever to glue. Just has to do with the plastic. But this glue literally glues any tips pretty fast. So incorrect amount and incorrect nail glue. Like I said, do not use Gorilla Glue, do not use super glue. Yes, it'll stay on there forever, but it can definitely cause some type of reactions to the nail. Nail is, obviously it's connected to their skin around, so you don't want to get anything on the skin. Sometimes you will, if you add a little bit too much, or even not, if you add the right amount of glue, it'll kind of drip to the side, or like just a little bit, it'll reach their skin, and sometimes you kind of have to like pull it down to unglue the skin from the tip. So obviously if you're gonna accidentally touch skin, you don't want to use any of those strong super glues because it's not meant for nails. So our mistake number 3 was not prepping good enough, not blending, not filing that tip with your natural nail. You don't want to leave any points out. You want to make sure that it's smooth and blended. That way your acrylic, goes nicely onto your nail. Especially if you're doing ombre, if you leave like that edge on the nail, the bottom color that you use, like your main color that you use, is gonna get stuck, and then that's when you have like that darker line. When you put your nude on top, it'll definitely show. So you want to make sure that it's nice and blended, almost like it was like her nail. You know what I mean? All right, so that was our recap. Do you guys have any questions or something?
Someone says, how do we clean our brushes?
What?
How do we clean our brushes?
We do have a video.
Yeah.
The video we posted of a recap of. So the video we posted of last week's live, we did talk about brushes. It is up on our Instagram. So if you're interested, whoever asked for the brush, how to clean our brushes, it is up on our Instagram. It's I think it's like the last video we posted, right?
Yeah.
It is about that. It's a recap of what we said on our last live. Can we put alcohol instead of primer? So you can technically put alcohol instead of primer. Alcohol does dry out and dehydrates the nails. Well, obviously your nail prep has alcohol, but it also has other properties in the nails, or like other ingredients in dehydrators that are more natural to put on your nails. But you can, add alcohol because it acts the same way. Like I said, there's certain added ingredients in here that will help your nail. They're just more natural for the nail. It's meant for the nail. Alright, let me see. I'm just trying to make sure I'm doing it right. Oh, how do we clean our brushes? So someone said one thing is many states don't require a nail license, resulting in many not being properly trained. So yeah, make sure that you guys, like I said, it has to do with cleaning all your tools. So do you guys have any questions or whatever you guys would like to see so we can show you guys on our next live? Like I said, these lives are for you guys. We do these lives for you. I'm not trying to teach these girls right here, my assistants. They don't need to know. I'm teaching all of you guys watching. So make sure that you guys let us know what you guys want to see next. Don't be shy. Even if I would probably be shy to ask on the live. So if you guys are shy and don't want to like ask on here, you can DM us. You can DM Hey Beautiful or DM me, which is at Nails with the Z by Danny with 3 I's at the end. Can cosmetologists do acrylic nails? Yes. So even though cosmetology school doesn't focus on acrylic nails, if you have a cosmetology license, you can do nails. Nails has to do with the whole cosmetology. You can obviously go to school just for nails, but if you have a cosmetology license, you can work on acrylic nails or on nails, anything that has to do with that. So yeah. So let's talk classes, guys. We have classes. We have a 2-day class coming up not this Saturday, but next Saturday. It is our 2-day class. You get a full entire kit, literally with your UV lamp, your drill, everything that you need to start doing nails. You will get it. It is 2 days. It is $850. So if you guys are interested, let us know. DM us. Like I said, it's next Saturday. We do have other types of classes. We have the 1-day class, which is almost the same as the 2-day, just kind of shrunk into one. The 2-day class is a little bit more detailed. We do focus a little bit more on specific areas you guys are struggling with. And we do have our design classes as well. So like I said, if you guys are interested, let us know. Ask for more information and we'll give it to you guys. Also, make sure that you guys follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We would love it if you go to our Instagram page, click the bell, and turn our notifications on because we have a new collection coming up soon, and it's really nice. The colors on our new collection they're so pretty. Turned on my nose real. They're so pretty. So if you guys wanna be the first ones to know about this new collection coming up, turn on that bell and click on the bell and turn our notifications on so you guys are notified when that new collection drops. Alright, so in every live we have a discount code. My throat is dry. On every live, we have a discount code. It is our second biggest discount. The biggest discount we have is Black Friday. I think I say this in every live, but it's Black Friday. And Black Friday passed just not long ago, so you won't get that code in a while. So make sure that you use our second biggest code, which is our IG Live, or not just IG, but our Live, which is Live 20. It is only up for an hour, so make sure that after we end this live, you guys go on our website, put everything you need in your cart, and use our code, which is Live 20, LIVE20, and you'll get 20% off all Hey Beautiful products. So like I said, it'll only be up for an hour, and you can also check, if you forget what it is, check our bio, and the code will be on there as well. So, yes guys, make sure that you guys, like I said, follow us on every social media. We also go live on Facebook and YouTube. So, yes. Is there any of those that said something, commented? No? Okay, just making sure. Alright, can I pick up at the store?
You can. Just put on the logo.
Pick up what? Yeah, so if you guys want to order, if you guys live near here and you guys want to order and pick it up at the store, you can definitely do that. You can just choose the pickup in store instead of being delivered. Obviously, you'll get it the same day. So if you guys need anything, like for tomorrow, you can do that and just pick it up tomorrow. It'll be the orders are ready the same day when you pick up. So yeah. So yeah. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate that you guys join our live. Obviously, we like your feedback. So if you guys like these lives, make sure that you guys let us know. We are happy that we do these for you guys. So yes, thank you. I'm ending it, but remember to follow us. If you guys have any suggestions on what you want on our next live, like I said, I do these for y'all. Let us know and we will do it. And yes, thank you so much, guys. We appreciate all the support. And see you guys next live on live number 9. Alrighty.